All right, so got a couple of success stories in just in time for Thanksgiving. One of which is so amazing and so different from any other success story that I've ever been sent that it completely blew me away. So I can't wait to get into them here. Let's get right into it. This first one was sent to me via email. It's very lengthy, so I'm not going to read the entire thing. I just want to give you the gist of it. He writes in, I am 25 and have always wanted 5 things in my life: to find my soulmate, to be fluent in French, to travel the world singing, acting, and dancing on stage and film in English and French, to be a wise and powerful magician, and to live in Canada. Now he says he was binge watching all of my videos on YouTube and has purchased all of my products, and by applying what he has learned, he has been able to check off those goals on his list one by one. Check, 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 one after another. I couldn't be more pleased with the fantastic results that you're getting. Keep up the great work. You've made me proud. As for your questions, will I be doing more videos on planets? Probably at some point. I don't plan my videos out from week to week, so I never know what I'm going to do until I go to do it. So I can't tell you for sure when that will be. Your other questions on planets that are out of bounds, those are planets that are simply outside of the ecliptic plane from Earth. They're not a big deal. This is why you never hear about them. They're going to have little to no effect on you astrologically, and so I wouldn't concern myself too much with them unless you have a real interest in astronomy. But it's not something that we're going to even bother going into on this channel. Now, this next amazing success story was sent in by someone who didn't want me to even share it. And I couldn't believe it. It was so unique and inspirational that I asked him to reconsider, because it's such an incredible testimonial on the power of mind over matter, and thought it could help inspire others. And so he agreed, but he still doesn't want me to share certain specific things. So for most of the story, I'm just going to generalize and give you a basic idea. So his job has taken him to Africa, and circumstances have led him to the opportunity to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, which, for those of you who don't know, is the tallest mountain peak on the continent of Africa. And he talked about how the last part of the ascension is the hardest to do. Basically, you start the 4th day by walking like 5 hours to an altitude of 4,700 meters, where I guess they pitch camp, and then they have to sleep during the afternoon and evening, and then get up at 11 p.m. and start the final ascent, which the goal is to reach the peak of the mountain by morning, by 6 a.m. Now, at an altitude of 4,700 meters, people can begin to experience a lot of altitude sickness. And he said he was experiencing all of them: headache, nausea, dizziness, shortness of breath, exhaustion, loss of appetite, etc. He said every single step was like dying, like he was being hit over the head with a hammer, like he wanted to vomit his own organs, but couldn't technically throw up anything because of his loss of appetite. And he still had over 1,000 meters yet to climb. And yet, he kept pushing onward. However, it wasn't long until he couldn't take anymore. And so what he did was he started focusing on a banishing hexagram in his mind and repeating a banishing ritual in his mind over and over and over again. Now, he doesn't remember how long he repeated the process, but he says it was at least 10 minutes. And then at some point he passed a rock on which he saw the Eye of Horus. Now, he doesn't say whether or not it was actually drawn on the rock or if he just saw it in his mind, but this woke him up from his trance, and he realized that he was performing this banishing ritual on autopilot. And he also realized that his altitude sickness symptoms were gone. The nausea was gone. The headache was gone. Just gone, he says, as by like magic. And he says that the higher that you go, the more symptoms you're supposed to have, but all of his were gone except for exhaustion. He was still tired. And because his banishing had worked, he was able to make it through the snowstorm and reach the peak by dawn. And he included a pic of him at the summit. His face is blurred for obvious reasons, but this is absolutely amazing. People send me a lot of success stories. This is one of the most incredible ones I've ever received. I never in my wildest imagination would have ever thought that what we do here on this channel would have helped somebody ascend Mount Kilimanjaro. Are you kidding me? I am so proud and honored to have played whatever small part involved in helping this man achieve this amazing feat of accomplishment. I can't even begin to tell you how much this made my day receiving this story. But just because these stories were so fantastic, don't let that deter you from sending in your own. I still want to hear them. They help keep me motivated to continue doing what I'm doing. No success story is too small. So when they happen, let me hear about them. Now, there is an important part of his story that I do want to cover real quick, which is what made it work so fast. And that is because he was able to go into a trance, or autopilot as he called it. This allowed his conscious mind to get out of the way so that he can insert the instruction of banishing into his subconscious. And then once he popped out of it, he just kind of forgot about it, except that the symptoms were gone. You may remember the video of the NFC Championship a few years ago, where I pretty much did the same thing. Seeing myself at the stadium, seeing the Seahawks come from behind to win the game when they pretty much had zero chance to do so. But that's exactly what they did only minutes later. A lot of people got upset with me for that. Why did you pick Seattle? And so the key to doing this kind of mind magic is to go into an automated type of trance and then just forgetting about it when you come out of it. Just kind of like, whoa, what was I doing? And then just continuing on as if nothing happened. And by doing so, he was able to achieve mind over matter and alleviate his own altitude sickness symptoms. I want to thank both of these individuals for sending in and allowing me to share their stories. Now, before we go, I just want to let you know that Spreadshirt is now offering free shipping now through November 19th. So if you were thinking about picking up a mystery school shirt, now would probably be a good time to do so and take advantage of the free standard shipping. Just use code JOY2017 when checking out. And that will about do it for today. And so with that, I'll see you next time. Take care.